First time I ever used anything, I guess, would have been pot. I remember being about 9 years old. On my real dad's side of the family, I already had a lot of alcoholism. I remember my granny Dot, she was an alcoholic. Of course, my daddy was an alcoholic. And I was what you'd call functional addict. You know, I didn't feel like at that point in time that alcohol and pot, I didn't really consider it, you know, a type of drug or an addiction problem. It was just an everyday part of life. I ended up doing something to my back and hurt myself real bad. I guess that's really where the opioids probably actually started. It's getting harder and harder to find people to prescribe certain things, you know. Of course, I'm looking for something a little stronger, so I start getting things obviously from a buddy here or a buddy there. I finally eventually got to a point where I was using a needle, intravenous. I did do heroin 3, maybe 4 times, and one thing I'd always told myself, if I had ever got to that point and started going down that road, I'm obviously going down a road that I don't ever plan on coming back from. Point I was actually working with one of my buddies. Of course, he's the one that actually had told me about methadone and BHG, and, you know, told me a little bit about the program. You don't have to worry about being sick at work. Well, that's going to keep me from having to leave work at lunchtime if I was ready to do something different. You know, tired of living like I've been living most of my life. Coming into the program, I had it set in my heart and my mind, I was truly ready to change my life. Sit down, you know, maybe talk to my counselor that day. If you actually open up and speak to somebody, there are so many people that work here that are so very willing to help. The main deal is to keep you off of the drugs and away from the drugs, but it's also kind of change your lifestyle, you know, and your whole outlook on life in many different ways. I'm more than ecstatic and so very thankful that there was a place like BHG to come and reset my life. I've not seen a better program or a better way to do it.